have another you in a minute. Talking about Margherita Pizza. Hey there, Allie here with Birdie once again. I made her a salad this morning, just like I always do. This one has apples and shredded carrot and zucchini and goji berries. She's very fancy. I also threw in a little bit of cheese. I've heard that birds are lactose intolerant, but she goes crazy for dairy. And I checked it with the vet, and he said as long as she's not having any problems, it's fine. So speaking of cheese, let's talk about pizza. So many people I know, their number one pizza is Margherita, and I totally get it. When it's done well, it's amazing. So I'm talking about a really good crust, really good sauce. I like kind of a sweeter, more acidic sauce, and really good mozzarella cheese, like milky, creamy, like fresh mozzarella and fresh basil. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. We make a lot of pizza at my house. My kids love pizza night. And honestly, it's one of the easier meals to make and quick, which is huge. The only possible downside is you really have to plan ahead and either have a ball of store-bought dough in your fridge or make one yourself, which is super easy, but it's a good idea to do it a couple hours ahead of time. It always comes out better if it's been sitting in the fridge for a while. This is because that natural yeast that's in there kind of just really gets busy, and it also ferments, which sounds a little gross, but it's actually really delicious. Like funky foods are really delicious. Bert knows what's up. If you hear that little grinding sound, there, she just did it. That's her beak. I never knew this about birds before I got a pet bird, but they actually grind their beaks, and not in a bad way, in a really happy way. It's like the bird equivalent to a cat's purr. So let's get back on the topic of pizza. I have a pizza dough recipe that I really love, and it might not be authentically Italian, but lately I've been adding garlic and herbs to the dough, and I think it tastes so good this way. So you can use my dough recipe, or you can buy store-bought dough. Right, Bert? She's a happy girl. She's got a berry. Oops, she dropped it. So unlike her. She never drops anything. How about some zucchini? So you have your dough. All you need to do is roll it out or stretch it. The way I like to do this is I just kind of flatten the ball with my hands, and then I do a steering wheel action and let gravity help us out. Carrot? Have some carrot. You can also use a rolling pin. There's no shame in that game. Sometimes I do a combination of the steering wheel, the rolling pin, just pressing it onto the pan. And kind of stretching it too. Bird approves. Now, once you have a nice flat round, or it can be oblong, or it can just be a shapeless blob, then you spread on a little bit of your sauce. And once again, you can use homemade sauce. I happen to have a really great recipe for homemade tomato sauce. Or you can just use something from a jar. Spread a thin layer. Really don't want to go too crazy here, and I'm saying this as a sauce lover. I'm sauce obsessed, but you don't want to overdo it, because if you do, then your crust could come out a little bit soggy. So just a thin layer. And then as for the cheese, you want to use fresh mozzarella. Don't mess around with the pre-shredded stuff. That's really not Margherita pizza if you do that. That's still really good, but not Margherita. You want to get fresh mozzarella. There's a few different options in the fresh mozzarella world. There's the balls that are sold in water. This is not my favorite. I love it for salads, but not so much for pizza. There's also the block, which is really meant to be shredded. And then the third option is kind of a hybrid between those two. It's very juicy, but it's not like swimming in a bath of cold water. This is what I like the best because it has that milky sweetness without being so waterlogged that you end up with a puddle on the top of your pizza. It comes in a log and it's kind of vac packed with just a little bit of water, just like the right amount of water. Say hi to the camera, Birdie. Isn't she pretty? She's so rainbow. You're so beautiful. Yes, you are. What's my name? Say it. She calls me Merp. Did you hear it? She did it. So the mozzarella goes on next. And then it goes into a hot oven. That can mean your regular kitchen oven. Just crank it. Just crank it. The hotter, the better. Sometimes I'll use my grill instead. My grill can get really hot. Pop the whole thing in there. Keep an eye on it as it's cooking. My oven gets up to 500, which is but at 500 in a regular oven for like my home kitchen, it's probably somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. Definitely flip that light on and keep an eye on it as it's going. As soon as it looks to the doneness that you like, pull it out and just let it sit on the pan for like 5 minutes tops. That way when you slice into it, all those yummy toppings are not just gonna like, you wanna give them a chance to cool a little bit and firm up so that you can get nice slices. After that quick little resting period, it's time to grab your fresh basil. And I'm a little bit of a purist here. There is no substitute for fresh basil. The dried stuff is just not gonna cut it. I mean, go ahead and do it if you insist, but you're not gonna have the same kind of experience. I like to just scatter those fresh basil leaves all over the top of the pie and then give it a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. And maybe, just a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper or crushed red pepper. Don't come after me for that. I'm all about what tastes good. So there you have it. There's your beautiful Margherita pizza at home. You made it yourself. It cost pennies and it couldn't be any fresher or more delicious. Thanks for watching and enjoy. Alexa, unpause. Alexa, nothing at all to you. I won't lose a wink of sleep. Everything you own in a box to the left. Oh, you know what? I think I did that whole thing with the mic off. No, I didn't.